Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're diving headfirst into a topic that feels almost mythical for so many of us. Work-life balance. We all chase it, we preach about it, and often we end up feeling like we're missing the mark entirely. But what if everything you thought you knew about balance was actually setting you up for disappointment, especially if you're driven, to build something truly significant? Our source material for this deep dive is a fascinating, no-holds-barred confession from Zuzana.pro. It's titled, Work-Life Balance. Is it something can leaders effort? Ultimate Confession 2021. So our mission today is to explore Zuzana's radically different perspective. And fair warning, it's going to challenge some, let's say, deeply held beliefs right from the jump. Okay, let's dig in.
It's true. Zuzana, she really doesn't mince words. She opens her piece with something that might, well, shock some people. She just says, I don't know, what is it, work-life balance? Flat out.
Wow, okay, straight out of the gate.
Exactly. And she argues that the popular idea, the one marketed everywhere, that kind of work-life balance, she thinks it creates unrealistic fantasies and disappointments for many people who naively believe that they can create something amazingly large and prosperous in the long run without any effort.
Unrealistic fantasies, ouch. But maybe true for some?
Well, what's really telling is her experience with her own clients. They come to her for personal optimization, right? And they're often picturing this like idyllic life with tons of leisure time. Yet these are usually people who already know exactly how much, blood, sweat, and tears it took just to get their business off the ground.
Right, they've lived the effort part.
Precisely. So it powerfully underscores her core point. Creating lasting success takes some effort, especially at the beginning. You just can't wish that away.
Okay, so if that usual picture of like kicking back and having tons of leisure time isn't balance for her, what about freedom of time? That's another big goal, right? Does that just mean, well, not doing anything or not having to do anything?
Yeah, that's all most people think about. But Zuzana, she completely redefines it. For her, freedom of time means choice, but certainly not doing anything.
Choice, okay.
Yeah, choice. She's really emphatic that it doesn't mean sitting on the porch for 2 days, unless you've already built that source of infinite income. And she lives it. She shares this pretty striking personal detail. Sometimes I work 20 hours a day myself.
20 hours, wow.
Yeah. And she's quick to add, this isn't because she's disorganized or bad at time management. She says, it's passion. Passion, I love my job.
Okay, passion, I get that, but still, 20 hours a day, that really flies in the face of what most people are aiming for. That kind of intensity, it immediately raises a huge flag for people, especially when they think about family life.
Yeah.
The immediate question is, how does that even work with a spouse, with kids?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Right.
And Zuzana tackles it head on. She says very clearly, I have a family, I have children, and I know they're not suffering.
Okay. How does she make that work then?
Well, she explains her family dynamic is really built on open communication. They talk things through. And crucially, when they do spend time together, they actually spend it together, disconnected, fully present, no distractions.
Disconnected time, that's key.
Absolutely. And what's fascinating here is the whole ecosystem they've created. Zuzana, the kid's biological father, and her current partner, they're all entrepreneurs. She describes them all as being obsessed with action and moving forward. So it's not just her, it's like a shared family value.
An entrepreneurial household.
Totally.
Yeah.
And the really remarkable part is how the kids are absorbing it, even embracing it. Her son, apparently, found his own business opportunity on YouTube, all by himself. And her daughter is actively trying to break into fashion, designing her own pieces.
No way. How old are they?
Get this. She says they weren't even 14 yet when this was happening. And they're both learning on crypto market demo accounts, too. And Zuzana stresses, this is all on their own initiative, with the condition they don't neglect school.
Wow. That's pretty amazing, like a real-world apprenticeship happening right there at home.
Exactly. It's a very different model of family life and work integration.
It certainly is a unique environment. But, I can imagine some listeners thinking, okay, this sounds great for Zuzana maybe, but is it really sustainable or even desirable for everyone? Doesn't this kind of intense, integrated work life blur the lines maybe too much for some people?
That's a really important point. And yeah, Zuzana's perspective isn't meant as like a one-size-fits-all prescription. It's presented more as an alternative, maybe particularly for those with that similar kind of entrepreneurial drive. For her, personally, her definition of work-life balance isn't about separating life from work at all. It's, in her words, the possibility to do what I enjoy and fulfill, the possibility to switch off when I need or want to be with my family.
Ah, okay. So it's about self-directed choice and really deep engagement.
Exactly. Both with her work and her family. It's not about forcing some kind of artificial divide. It's about intentional presence.
That makes a lot of sense, especially for those listeners out there who feel that deep passion for what they do. It's not just a job. So, okay, when people come to her for personal optimization, which, again, many might think means get me more leisure time, what practical advice does Zuzana actually give them? How does she help them achieve her version of balance, this integrated, choice-driven thing?
Well, she starts with what she calls a diplomatic answer.
Hmm.
Basically, it depends on their goals and needs. It makes sense.
Yeah, standard consulting answer.
Right. But then she gets practical. Her real focus is on identifying what she calls these hidden productivity time eaters.
Hmm.
Also things like frozen processes, inefficient information flows, and blinders. All the stuff that wastes energy and time without real results.
Okay, the hidden drains.
Yeah. So she helps clients with things like improving time management, delegation, introducing practical tools, and getting that crucial view from the outside.
Mm.
She describes it as a very intense task with the client, something really hands-on.
I bet.
And interestingly, she says it often evolves into friendship or other cooperation, which speaks volumes, I think. And her success rate seems high. She proudly states, "I don't have a personal optimization client who wouldn't recommend me anymore or even complain."
That's quite the testimonial.
It is.
Yeah.
So the core takeaway here for you, the listener, is that optimization, in this view, isn't about less effort necessarily. It's about making the effort you do put in incredibly intentional and effective, cutting out the waste.
So, wrapping this up, what does this all really mean for you, the listener, especially if you're an entrepreneur or just someone really passionate about building something substantial? This deep dive, it really reframes the whole conversation, doesn't it?
It really does.
Zuzana's perspective, it's not about chasing passive leisure or drawing hard lines between your professional and personal self. Instead, it highlights that for some people, maybe many people, true balance is found in that intentional choice, that deep passion, and a really profound integration of work and family life, especially when you've got that strong entrepreneurial drive. It's about being deeply present wherever you choose to put your focus.
Yeah, it definitely challenges us, all of us, to reconsider our own definitions of balance and success.
Mm.
This deep dive suggests that perhaps for many driven folks, work-life balance isn't about separation at all. Maybe it's a deeply integrated, passionate pursuit, something that can even, involve and inspire the whole family, like in her case.
Yeah.
It really encourages you to figure out what truly fuels you and, just as importantly, how to eliminate the stuff that holds you back. So here's something to think about based on Zuzana's powerful insights. What hidden productivity time eaters might you discover lurking in your own life, your own work? And, maybe more profoundly, what might it look like if you redefine balance, not as escaping your work, but as engaging more deeply with what you enjoy and find fulfilling, and perhaps even finding ways to integrate that meaningfully with your family life?
Definitely something to chew on.